Okay, right here I have a phototransistor, and it looks a whole lot like an LED. So what are some of the major differences so we know when we grab something, are we grabbing a phototransistor or are we grabbing an LED? First thing I notice is that the LED is generally has a colored lens on it. The next thing I notice is that the phototransistors is normally short and stubby. And if I pick up the phototransistor and look down upon it, I'm going to see a semiconductive material, and it's going to be black. Now that piece of material, and also you can see the lens, so it focused the lights on that material. That piece of material is hypersensitive to infrared light. So it's very, very sensitive to a particular wavelength of light. And what happens with this is as that wavelength of light hits this, it allows current to flow very easily or very fast, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this component out of my resistor. Also notice that it has a circular end and a flat end. So it does have polarity. So it has a long leg and a short leg. So I got to make sure I put this in here right. This is called a phototransistor. A phototransistor. Okay. So now when I turn on the phototransistor, and what I'm going to do is come over here and look at my code, right? It has a different discharge time. And all that discharge time, I'm going to hit repeat. Okay, so it's going to be dependent upon the light source in the room. And it's super sensitive to infrared light. So one thing I can do, the only thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put shade on this. So I'm going to take this circuit and put a sheet of paper over it. And then I'm going to hit the reset button. So it's darker. So the brighter the light, the more current should flow through it. And the darker it is, the less current should flow through it. Now, because it's allowing less current to flow through the capacitor, it's draining slower, right? So the only thing I'm doing is I have it covered and I'm hitting the reset. So what I can do is now make a robot that's highly sensitive to light. And what these things could be are light sensitive eyes. And this happens in nature. If you look at some of the first microbial life forms, they started to develop what's called a simple eye. And this eye couldn't give out any detail, but it can tell if something was light versus something was dark. So if it was living in the water and a predator swam between it and the top of the ocean, when the sun was out, it knew a predator was near, and so it ran away. And so that particular type of life form evolved, and eventually that thing evolved into a human eye. So here's a circuit that can detect lightness versus darkness. Okay, cool. So now our next goal, what we're going to do is build two of these circuits, put them on a robot, and then have the robot, you can steer your robot with your flashlight. So that's the ultimate goal today, is to build a light finding robot. And also you can use opposite logic, and you can build a vampire robot that's afraid of the light and it wants to find the darkest spot. So you can do that. All right.